And we are live for week 4 of the Queen's Ransom weekly show, weekly recap, weekly coverage. Struggling to speak here, Scotty.
Fantasy talk.
How you doing?
Fantasy talk. We're back. It's headed into week 4, so it's basically you're 3-0. You're not looking for trades. You're 2-1. You're seeing what the 0-3 teams are throwing out. You're 1-2. You want to upgrade. This is the weeks where trades happen. Trades are going through. The rumors are happening. You knock on the door of the Justin Jeffersons, the Jonathan Taylors of the world. This is when trade season begins.
Yeah, it's my favorite time of the year. I trade as much as I can. There's been leagues where I've made 30 moves in a season before. I'm ready for it. Call me if you play in a league with me.
Heading into week 4 is definitely when it gets very popular with trades. You got the 0-3 teams who are desperate, 1-2 teams who don't want to fall behind. And then you basically got the 3-0 teams who really don't want to do anything, but you don't want to see other teams make trades. So you try to get in the middle of them. So my link is not working. No, you're in. You're in, Jen. You're in, Jen.
Is she trying to join or is she just trying to watch?
No, she's trying to she could comment. I don't know if she wants to come on, but yeah, she's
okay. Yeah, it's the same link. Yeah, it's the same link that I sent out. But anyways, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how these trades go down. This is the time, and it's important, guys. If you guys are tuned in, really look at how you've lost. If you're 1-2 or if you're 0-3, maybe you just got unlucky, and your team's actually really good. You just got unlucky and you lost by 1 or 2. Me and Scotty were talking about it before the show started. Like it happens a lot where you just lose by 1 point, and it's like this team should have won this week.
Yeah, I was the third highest scoring team in my league, in the Warzone League, and I lost by 1 point. So it's like I can't get mad at my team. They performed, and of course I got unlucky and went against Lamar Jackson. So I got hit with the Lamar Jackson stick.
Yeah, I'm in a dynasty league on the side with Joe Morley, and I think he's been the second highest scoring team every week. But
I gotta say, Joe Morley's kicking ass in the Warzone one too. I gotta try to slow it down.
All right, well, let's get this Queen's Ransom League pulled up on the screen here. Here is the matchups for this week, Scotty. Last week, I believe we tied. Oh, this is last week. Last week, I believe we tied. Yes. The first week, I won. The second week, you won. So we are tied right now. We are. No big deal. But here's
no pressure. No pressure. We're not competitive at all.
Not at all. Don't care. It's just everything. And I hate you because you stole that belt from me. I mean, I've been holding that back for a while. Anyway,
you'll hold on to it. I'll see you in Vegas. I'll bring it. I'll let you kiss it.
No. It'll be like 2 years removed by then, and it still will probably be irking me. That was one of the best fantasy teams I've ever had, and I lost in the championship to Scotty. But Team Dresses and Salted Pretzels taking on Team Rossi Takes. We got 0-3 versus 3-0. Maybe these two teams should talk about trades. If Rossi Takes has some people on her bench to help out Team Dresses and Salted Pretzels. First of all, the quarterback matchup, Josh Allen versus Matthew Stafford. This is very early in the season, but I've started to notice that a lot of teams that have Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson are undefeated in fantasy football right now. Scotty, with the running back struggling, running back committees kind of taking over the league, is it going to start changing up draft strategies when we look at how many teams win with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson this year? Because I think it's going to be a lot.
Such an advantage. You got Josh Allen, and both of them have something in common. They both could throw the ball, and they both could run the ball. So they're taking advantage. Nobody's running the ball. No running back is going off the charts. So, yeah, having Josh Allen is a huge advantage.
There is not very many running backs in the league right now that are running the ball better than Lamar Jackson. Lamar's top 5 in rushing, and he has 4 rushing touchdowns.
Right.
So it's been insane. He's already scored 14 touchdowns. We're on week 3. That's insane. We're talking about 5 a week almost. And then, of course, Matthew Stafford is no slouch. He's going to air it out. The San Francisco defense, though, played really well against Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos on prime time this last week. I'm probably leaning with Josh Allen pretty easily. Josh Allen's probably scoring 30 points every week this year.
Yes, I'm leaning towards Josh Allen as well. And in this matchup, I am also going to look at Dresses and Salted Pretzels. I'm going to pay attention to their team to see if I could help out with maybe some trade possibilities to try to help their team, their squad out as we go on.
You're a great commissioner, Scotty. You're a great commissioner.
High five.
Down to the running backs here. We got Zeke and Miles Sanders versus Jacobs and Hunt. You can tell that these two teams in the draft went wide receiver heavy. Which side are you leaning? This is kind of a coin toss.
You know what? It's crazy. You're looking at a 3-0 team and an 0-3 team. You're looking at these 4 players on both sides, and this is pretty even. Yeah, I mean, Elliott versus Washington. Washington stinks. Sanders versus Jacksonville. I'm leaning towards Elliott and Sanders, possibly.
This is tough. Yeah, I think definitely Jacobs and Sanders have the toughest matchups here. Yeah. It really just comes down to Kareem Hunt going to score? That's really what it is. Like this last week, Nick Chubb scored all the touchdowns. Kareem Hunt's fantasy score is low. Week before that, Kareem Hunt scores all the touchdowns, and his fantasy score is high. I'm going to lean with Zeke and Sanders as well. I think they're going to get more touches than on the other side. There is some interesting things going on in Vegas and with the Vegas offense, and I think that they're going to make some big changes, and the big changes are going to be abandoning the run game. That's what I think is going to happen, and they're going to start feeding their weapons because they have just been this close in every single game this year, and what has slowed them down, what has stopped them, no one really knows. We're going to find out. Speaking of the Raiders, Team Rossi Takes has been riding the Raiders. She's got Devontae Adams and Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's probably the real reason why she's 3-0 is Amon-Ra St. Brown versus Cooper Kupp and Deebo Samuel. How do you pick this one?
Well, I would never think that you're going Cooper Kupp versus St. Brown and Deebo Samuel versus Adams.
True.
St. Brown is a staple now in the starting lineup. If I'm dresses and salted pretzels, I'm actually going to ask around if anybody's interested in Deebo. I see that she might be weak at tight end. She could maybe package Deebo and one of her running backs to try to upgrade at running back position. So yeah, on that side, I would look to trade Deebo, see if anybody's interested. But with these wide receivers, it's a pretty even matchup. I'm leaning towards Adams and St. Brown slightly.
I think I'm leaning that direction very slightly as well. This is a coin toss to me because either side could go off at a moment's notice. And like I said, I think they're going to emphasize the Devontae Adams thing in Vegas against the Denver Broncos. He's going to have pass retaining coverage. I'll take Devontae Adams in that matchup, and I think they're going to feed him. I'm going to go with St. Brown and Adams as well. And that's only because I think that both Deebo and Kupp playing against each other are playing 2 tough defenses too. Right. On top of it all. So down to the tight end matchup, and this is a huge advantage. And we were literally just talking about this. I have Josh Allen and Kelsey on a team. I stacked them up. And Rossi Takes Josh Allen and Kelsey on a team. Obviously, Kelsey over Gesicki. Gesicki's so touchdown dependent.
Yes, he is.
If he doesn't score a touchdown, he gets like 3 targets. It's kind of sad, actually.
Njoku is a free agent in this league. I would, if I was to dress as salted pretzels, I'd look into it. Who's their backup?
Irv Smith on the bench here. He's actually pretty
not
good.
Bad. Not decent.
Maybe about the same as
Gesicki. You could possibly look on the waiver wire. It's waiver wire Tuesday, so look for tight end help. Like I said, look to trade Deebo possibly. You got Thielen as a flex. So you could move Thielen in the starting position, trade Deebo and upgrade at running back or get a tight end.
Smart. Maybe look for someone that's versatile that you can use in the flex if you need to.
Yes.
Move around your lineup depending on what the matchups look like each week. But yeah, Kelsey's got the edge over Gesicki for sure. Speaking of the flex, we got Adam Thielen versus Amari Cooper. Jacoby Brissett has been impressing me this year. I don't care what anyone says. Jacoby Brissett is playing at a similar level to what Baker Mayfield would have played at if they just stuck with him. Amari Cooper, I think, has got the edge. Unfortunately,
and Cooper stepped up last week. I found out he was in the league again. 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row, 100 yards, has over 10 targets. Wide receiver 12 right now in PPR format. And I'm not an Amari Cooper fan. I always preach that this guy's inconsistent and he's not going to show up in certain games. But that was in Dallas where CD and Gallup and all these guys were there to take away from Cooper a little bit. Now he's in Cleveland where it seems like Jacoby just loves him. And if Rossi could hold on to this lead in first place, getting closer to Watson coming back, that's going to make Cooper even better. I think so. It's going to make him even better with the quarterback upgrade.
And we got the kickers. You got to go with Daniel Carlson, obviously. And we got LA Rams versus the Saints defense. It's a coin flip. Let's look at the bench here. Mostert, Madison, Lockett, Metcalf, Wilson, Higbee. It's pretty good down here.
That is
you feel okay if you got to bring in DK for somebody at some point, or Lockett, or Wilson. Would you be? Oh yeah, Cook's not playing this week too. Would you be putting Alexander Madison in the lineup over Jacob?
Yeah. Oh yes, I would do that. I would even do it over Hunt.
Yeah, I think so too. Alexander Madison's a really good running back, and they use him like they use Cook. Like they're gonna feed him.
I agree.
This team is really good.
Team's very good, and that's a team you can knock on the door on for trades. They got a lot of depth.
Yeah, I think that, flipping Garrett Wilson and maybe Madison or Mostert or one of these running backs and trying to exchange that, maybe one of these two in the starting lineup, and just get a stud also in the RB core to pair with Adams, Brown, and Amari Cooper. Like, you got plenty of receivers here, Rossi.
Yes.
Jeez, 3-0. Yeah, I think I'm going with Rossi going undefeated.
Yes, Rossi has the advantage with Allen and Kelsey. I like Dresses and Salted Pretzels wide receivers, but they're going to need to ask for a lot from Stafford and Cup to take over.
Yeah,
Go ahead. I'd like them to get involved with the waiver wire this week, and if Dresses and Salted Pretzels, once Dak Prescott comes back, you could actually knock on my wife's door because Wishlist is looking for quarterbacks. So she lost Trey Lance. She did waiver wire pickups until Watson comes back. So you can maybe
it really went sideways for them missing on Zeke here, because you could tell they went with a light RB strategy, saying we're going to take Zeke in round 3 or 4 and see how it goes. And it just isn't going well. He did score this week, but without that touchdown, he still didn't put up very good performance against the Giants defense. I remember on the draft, wasn't Dresses and Salted Pretzels being like, why are we drafting defenses this early? We got some losers in this league. Look at this. We got an 0-3 now. So
they are the trash talkers. They were the trash talkers.
You got to come back.
Very quiet.
You got to come back. Oh, we got a good matchup here. 2-1, lady shot caller. Osborne for this versus Team Steffi Smalls. 2-1 as well. The projection has Steffi Smalls, but look at these lineups. Let's take a peek. Maybe there might need to be some moves in the lineup still. We got Derek Carr versus Jalen Hurst. Jalen Hurts has been absolutely phenomenal. I was just, giving Allen and Lamar some credit. I feel bad now. I should have given Jalen Hurst that same credit. He's going off this year, and he's facing off against a good defense in Jacksonville, but I still would probably lean Hurts here. Would you go Carr for any reason? Because Denver's good defense too.
No, I'm with you, dude. Jalen Hurts is literally Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts could switch jerseys. It's like the same guy this year.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is impressing me. I always liked him, but I didn't think he was this. He's throwing the ball well, too. And that Devontae Smith is a stud.
That's what I'm saying. The Eagles have done a great job building around him while he develops. And now they've kind of like come out from the dust settling of the Carson Wentz dilemma. And it's like you got a quarterback that's in his prime with 2 wide receivers entering their prime that are really good. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun for a couple of years to watch the Eagles. Sorry, not for you, for everyone else.
No, I'm a Washington fan. We're looking for our franchise quarterback. But no, these are 2-1 teams. And if I'm them, I'm not really looking for trades, but I will have my eyes peeled around the league. If people are talking, I'll pay attention, but they're doing well. They both know what they're doing. And here we go. You got Herbert. There you go. You got Herbert with projected 8 points. He's going to have more than that.
Injuries are playing a role. That's what I was just about to say, because David Montgomery goes down. Khalil Herbert comes in. And this is really bad news for David Montgomery. I'm a dynasty David Montgomery owner, and I've just been holding out for years. Like, when's it going to happen? He's going to be a top 10 RB, right? It's never going to happen.
No.
This kid, Herbert, is a beast.
Yes, he is.
And he's going to be the RB.
Even if Montgomery comes back healthy, it's going to be Herbert and Montgomery splitting time together.
I'll be honest with you. I think Herbert's going to take the job. I think he is.
I will not disagree with you on that.
I think Herbert is the new running back in Chicago, and you pair him with Saquon. That's a good duo right there for the rest of your year, probably, Osborne, for this.
Yes.
I wonder who is on her bench here. Najee's on the bench.
Najee's on the bench.
And Brees. So if y'all need running backs.
She's sitting Najee, though. Najee against the Jets.
For Herbert. And she's got Kirk in the flex. Najee's not been good. It's fair, but it's the Jets.
It's the Jets. Oh, that is tough. Because he is a great player. It's just the team he's on now, which is crazy saying that the Steelers think. But, oh, my God. How good is her team? She's sitting Brees Hall and Najee Harris. and we're not, like, angry at her.
And she has Ramondre, who's now starting to take over New England a little bit.
Oh, my God. Team is stacked. Jen, knock on the door on this team. Knock on the door.
Rose, you need running backs. DeAndre Swift did just get hurt.
Jen, package 2 running backs for Najee. Package 2 running backs for Najee. If you could hear me, you're up there.
This is a good team because she has Christian Kirk, and she has at the receivers here Cortland Sutton and Bateman versus Jamar Chase and Diggs. And yeah, I'm gonna go Jamar Chase and Diggs. But when the running backs are this good, Cortland Sutton and Bateman and Kirk are just fine at your receiver core.
Yeah, absolutely. And Amber, shot callers, if you're listening, knock on Jen's door, please. Is Najee available? Austin Eckler or Derek Henry? Oh, my God. I'm going Austin Eckler.
Yeah, Austin Eckler.
Austin Eckler. He's for the rest of the season, Eckler. He's on a better team.
Rajveer Gill, thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. But here's the thing with Austin Eckler. The Chargers are very apparent, and they're saying publicly that we are trying to get back to the offense we had last year. The offense we had last year, Rajveer, scored 20 touchdowns by one player, and it was Austin Eckler. So if they're trying to go back to that, you're going to want to hold on to Eckler. Yes. It's just whether or not they actually can stay healthy enough to do it. That's the question. And the O-line is done now, Scotty. We're done. There's no more running the ball in Los Angeles. It's done.
I lost a lot of money on the Chargers this past Sunday. I'm hurt.
And Eckler might be the only running back where it's like it's a good thing that they're done running the ball.
Yes. But he'll get those screens. He'll get those catches.
He'll get everything. Yeah, he'll get all the check downs. He's going to be the security blanket. He's getting screens, getting all that stuff. What do you think here? It's obviously receivers. Jamar Chase and Stephon Diggs, right?
Steffi Smalls is throwing her right hooks with this. Steffi Smalls is loaded at wide receiver. Yeah. Sit back, enjoy the show, eat your popcorn, and just watch your boys rumble.
And I'm just looking here, and I know you don't usually trade with your opponent on the week of your game, but Darrell Henderson's in the starting lineup over here on the right side, and Najee Harris is on the bench on the left side.
Yeah.
So maybe we can talk. We do a little conversation. Change from receivers for some running backs between these two teams. It'll help both you guys.
Yes.
And at the tight end spot, you got two good tight ends, but kind of been a little bit disappointing so far this year. Darren Waller versus Kyle Pitts. I feel like both offenses are trying to get these guys the ball, trying to get the touchdowns and the red zone targets going their way, but they just can't get it going. Did Kyle Pitts have a good game this last week?
Yes.
Better. That's a lot better, Kyle. We're excited for that.
Yeah, he woke up.
What do you think here? Denver's who Waller's got to go against. They got good safeties, Kareem Jackson coverage, and Cleveland for Kyle Pitts.
And Renfro should be back. I'm saying Kyle Pitts has to start. Just I'm going to lean towards Kyle Pitts.
Okay.
I'm not a big Waller fan. He had that 1 year where he just ripped it up, but
yeah, I think that I'm going to go Kyle Pitts as well. Less in the offense to take away. Waller is starting to become a little touchdown dependent, in my opinion. He dropped one last week, by the way.
Yeah.
And then in the flex, Marquise Hollywood Brown taking on Christian Kirk. I'm a big Christian Kirk fan. I told everyone to sit Christian Kirk because my Chargers were going to lock him down because the Chargers have one of the best secondaries in the league, and he cooked us. So now I'm on board. He's cooking everybody.
And Steffi Smalls has Diggs and Chase with Marquise Brown in the flex. I don't see her bench yet, but I would trade Marquise Brown and try to get a running back. She drafts good apparently. Oh, she has ETN.
Yeah, she got ETN.
She was hoping for ETN, and I was high on James Cook as well.
She has so many good receivers.
Yeah, she does.
These two should deal with each other. They should.
Yeah, she does. She could deal.
ETN and Brown for Brees.
Yeah.
Bada boom. Just improve both teams.
You can yes.
I'm going Kirk Kirk here. Are you going with Brown or Kirk?
Kirk does. I'm actually going to go Marquise Brown here.
Yeah, Kirk does have a tough matchup. Marquise Brown has a better matchup in Carolina. So we're split on that one. McPherson versus Gano and the 49ers defense versus the KC defense. Here we go. Which side you going with? Team Steffi Smalls, team wide receiver, or team running back?
Sorry, Amber. Going Steffi Smalls this week.
I'm going Team Amber. So we're split on that one.
We are.
Next one up, we got Team Stepmom Lauren taking on your wife Jen's wish list here. Lady wish list. Quarterback matchup. Oh, wait, let's look at the projections. We got 1 and 2 versus 2 and 1, and the projections are on the side of Stepmom Lauren, who I think Stepmom Lauren was playing Rose last week. 2-point difference. Got settled in the last game. CeeDee Lamb needed one more catch for like the last 3 drives, and he didn't get it. And Rose hung on. So
can we get real quick Jen's this past week's score? Put it on. It's worth it.
Got to go to
week 3 and look at Jen's score. Where are we? Oh, there you go.
Here. Oh my goodness!
Look at that score.
Oh my goodness!
Lucky as all balls.
Rose too.
Oh my god! It was. Let me tell you something. I feel horrible for Fantasy Football Queen has got screwed 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row, she lost tough games, man.
I was wrong. I was saying it was Stepmom Lauren. It was the Queen who, this happens again to her. She's 0-3 now. Needed that win, and it literally came down to one catch on Monday Night Football from CeeDee Lamb or not, and it landed on the or not. And you know what's crazy, Scotty?
He dropped that
pass. 50-yard touchdown. Yeah, he dropped it.
Would have been a touchdown, and Rose probably pissed off that he was laughing after that too.
Yeah, well, Rose was looking at it. And she was like, sees the ball hit the air, and she's like, who's that going to? And I was like, that CD dropped it. Damn.
In his hands, too. I got to say, that guy, Rush, looks good. All right.
He's doing good enough for them, for sure. Yeah, he's delivering the ball to the weapons, giving them a shot, which is all you need to do as a backup. Okay, so we got Herbert versus Wentz. Herbert, stinky game against the Jaguars. I was there in person. Enjoyed every second of it.
Yeah,
Carson Wentz, stinky game against
horrible.
the Eagles. Stinkier game. Which way you leaning? I'm leaning Herb against the Texans. I think Herb has a chance here to show like a little bit of a more killer mentality. Like go out against Houston and just destroy them.
Yeah, you got to go Herbert here. I would never pick Wentz over Herbert. If Herbert was out with rib injuries, I think I'd pick Herbert. I go with the 0 points.
0 points.
No, you got to go Herbert over Wentz, no doubt.
Yeah, and Wentz can pop off for 30 points any week, but you just never know when it's going to be. It's just a constant guessing game you're playing with him. And Stepmom Lauren, some good news for you if you're tuned in or if you watch the replay to this. Keenan Allen set to return this week.
There you go. He's coming back.
That's a big, like 100 catch part of our offense that was missing. And then we got Alvin Kamara and J.K. Dobbins. I'm super excited to see what J.K. does against that beat up Buffalo defense versus Jonathan Taylor and J-Rob. Like you said, Scotty, the running backs have been really confusing. It's hard to tell which guys are going to separate. Jonathan Taylor is taking on Derrick Henry. Will either one of those guys separate in that game? Would you go J-Rob and Taylor over AK and Dobbins here?
Yes, I'm still going with the best back in football and James Robinson, who's shocking the hell out of me this season. I was pissed off Jen picked him, and she is rubbing it in my face because he's actually playing very well. So I am leaning towards Jen's running backs in this matchup.
I like it. I'm leaning that way too. I like JT and J-Rob. J-Rob obviously has been phenomenal this year already. This start of the year. Man. Him and Saquon both suffered some pretty scary injuries in the last couple of years. Yeah. And it seems like they've gotten onto that healthy hump. There's a hump that you have to go over when you have one of those injuries. And JK is the next guy to start working towards that. 7 touches in his first game back. Looked explosive. Didn't get much room, but looked explosive. He's in the lineup here. So we'll see. Maybe he can get a breakout game. I want to see a breakout game. I have him in a bunch of leagues. Let me go down to the receivers. We We got Jay Jettas and Mike Pittman versus Josh Palmer and Drake London. And this is a bit of a mismatch. Like the running backs are obviously to the right.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara is going to keep it a little closer. But this receiver versus receivers is
Jen didn't touch your lineup yet, but you're going to see Keenan Allen in the lineup.
Who's going to be back? Yeah,
that's a big difference. Keenan Allen and Josh Palmer, a huge difference. You got Renfro coming back too.
Yeah, it's a huge difference. It'll be Keenan and London, which is a lot closer.
Keenan and London, still the disadvantage, but not as far as if it was Palmer. Keenan's going to touch the ball at least 8 times.
And the good news is also for the other side now, like it's bad news now for the team with Justin Herbert that Keenan Allen coming back. More good news on Keenan Allen is that apparently he might have been able to go this last week, and they're giving him an extra week. So he'll be 100%. Like if the Chargers were playing a division rival on Sunday, he probably would have played.
Yeah.
So there we go. And
I think before he pulled his hamstring, he had like 60 yards and 6 catches or something already in the first
quarter. Yeah.
It was like, holy shit.
He was going nuts.
So you got to see Keenan there. You got to still go with Justin Jefferson and Pittman.
Of course.
But Jen could make it close there.
Jefferson, obviously 2 weeks in a row, he's been pretty blanketed. But going against New Orleans next week.
Lattimore. Going against Lattimore.
That's true. And Pittman, obviously, Pittman's going to have a great year. I think so.
I like him a lot. And I got to give props. His father keeps answering me back every time I write to him on social media. So thank you, Michael Pittman Sr.
Go Mike Pittman. We got Goddard versus Hayden Hurst. This is going to be who Jen has in here.
Dalton Schultz plays.
A Schultz return. I would probably
flip the coin.
Okay, so Devin Lloyd, a lot of people aren't talking about him, but Devin Lloyd is already starting to kind of put up a vote maybe for Defensive Rookie of the Year in Jacksonville. He is locking shit down. Tight ends are averaging like 10 yards a game or something against the Jaguars right now because they're putting Devin Lloyd out there on him like he's a safety and he's a linebacker. I think he's going to be on Goddard. So I'm going to lean Dalton Schultz if he's healthy.
Awesome news, Jen. Awesome news.
Yeah. I had to watch it in person, and it was very impressive to see a linebacker flying down the field with Gerald Everett, who's probably, if not the fastest, one of the top 5 fastest tight ends in the league right now.
Awesome.
Next up, we got Gabe Davis taking on David Montgomery in the flex here. And we've been talking about David. I don't even know if he's going to play in this game.
No, you're going to
roll. Who are we going to see here? It's probably not going to be him.
No, you'd actually see Antonio Gibson or Renfro.
Gibson versus Davis? Renfro versus Davis? Which one would you go?
I don't know. Who would I go with? Oh,
my
God.
Who's Washington again?
Dallas. They're tough.
They're good. Their defense is so
good. You might, honestly, McKissick, because he's going to catch maybe 4. I'm going McKissick or Renfro. They're safer.
It is full point PPR.
Full point PPR. I'm going McKissick or Renfro.
I think Gabe Davis is going to outscore all the options here.
You got it, bro.
After all that.
Yeah.
But this Bills-Baltimore game should be a shootout. The Baltimore secondary, while it is loaded up with athletes, they're kind of playing like opportunistic football right now.
Yeah.
Letting up a lot of blown coverages. I think Gabe Davis might sneak a big play down the field, maybe for a touchdown in this game. But we'll see. I'm going to go Gabe Davis. Would you go anyone else? Would you go Gabe Davis also?
I'm going Gabe Davis, yeah.
The defenses. Trade-wise, anything you saw on either of these rosters?
Jen could try to give up Antonio Gibson, or if Montgomery's not as hurt, she can maybe try to deal Antonio Gibson to a what was the team that was loaded at wide receivers?
Was it dressing
like an ATN, like a Gibson for an ATN and like an Olave?
Yeah, they had Cup and Samuel, and no, it wasn't this team.
No,
I think it was Steffi.
Balls.
Yeah, Chase, Diggs, and then she has ETN, Nico Collins, and Chris Olave on the bench.
You could do like a Chris Olave and ETN for Gibson, and like some small.
You got to throw something in there, like throw a little sweetener in there.
Exactly.
And then stepmom Lauren needs a healthy Herbert, healthy JK, and she's probably gonna be good.
Her team's good.
Yeah.
Burkett, her bench is weak.
Yeah, you don't really trust any of these guys, but I would stay heavy on the waiver wire if I had this team.
Yes.
Just keep changing people out until something lands. Look for Greg Dortch or something.
Team. And Gallup or who's the Dallas Cowboys wide receiver who's doing real well?
Noah Brown. Yeah.
Noah Brown's a great pickup.
So we want QB on the left. We want running back on the right. Receiver on the left. Tight end on the right. Flex on the left. Which way are you going? It's back and forth. Across the board.
My wife's going to pull off an upset here. My wife's pulling an upset here. Stepmom Lauren should have an easy win. My wife pulls an upset win.
The quarterback's going to outweigh the wide receivers here. I'm going with my bolts to destroy the Houston Texans, and I'm going with stepmom Lauren and Justin Herbert.
And she's got to pass to Keenan Allen, Jen.
It all works out. We got 3 more matchups here. Let's check out the chat. There's a lot of people probably putting stuff in the chat.
Are there? Yeah, we keep ignoring it every week.
JTS. Mike, can you ask Wishlist if he wants to do Jefferson for Evans and all my fab? Would you do Jefferson for Evans and all his fab?
No, hey, Johnny boy. No, a lot of people are hitting me up for Justin Jefferson. I don't think I'm ready to deal him yet, but I'll give you the best offer I was given was Nick Chubb and Waddle in a deal for Justin Jefferson and somebody. I forgot who it was. So you got to beat that.
That's a good offer.
Yeah, Waddle and Chubb for Jefferson, and I forgot who they asked for other than that, but that was an offer where I didn't want to give up Jefferson, but the offer showed up and I went, so I got to think about that. So, Johnny boy, if you want Jefferson, you got to beat out the Nick Chubb and Waddle combo.
That's when you ask for one more, Scotty. You throw one of your bench guys in and you ask for one more, just guy that will start in your lineup. Just one more guy. And he has Kamara. He's not counting on him scoring more than 9 points. Yeah, that Saints offense has been miserable. They're not getting in the end zone. Jonathan Taylor, Mixon, Patterson. Ed, what league are you in? Is this a league full of toddlers or a 6-man league? James Robinson. He needs 2.
Need 2. You need 2. You always go Jonathan Taylor. And if Cordell Patterson. Taylor and Patterson. I'm
assuming you used 2 first-round picks. What the heck? My computer is freezing, of course. I'm assuming that there we go. I'm assuming that you used a first-round pick on Taylor, a second-round pick on Mixon. You got to put him in.
Is Mixon might be hurt.
Oh.
Playing on Thursday night. So Jonathan Taylor, you have to, even if he has 4 games sucks in a row, you got to play Jonathan Taylor. He's your first pick. He's good, dude. 0-3 with a stacked roster. Making no sense. Hey, Omar, I'm a Washington fan, man. I don't feel bad for you.
They're Rodgers, St. Brown, AJ Brown, Najee Harris, Alvin Kamara, Pittman. Wow. Bench is Gibson, MT, Wilson. How are you 0-3?
Dude,
how are you 0-3? Do not do anything, Omar. Keep lining up your best lineup. You're gonna make the playoffs.
No, you got to make a trade here, dude. You got too many good players. You got too many good players, dude. You have too many good players.
Trade for a quarterback, honestly.
Brown, St. Brown and AJ Brown. Sit them at your wide receivers. Najee and Pittman. Trade
Pittman.
Who's AK? Alvin Kamara?
Yeah.
Dude, trade Najee, Alvin Kamara, and Bateman for
They're not gonna say Amon-Ra St. Brown because he's already on the team.
I'm trading, dude. I'm trying to get you a top running back. Najee, AK, and Bateman for you don't need Bateman. Get Chubb, get Jonathan Taylor. Go after somebody who's pissed off with Jonathan Taylor for 2 weeks. That's a strong offer. Najee and AK, Your team's loaded.
Yeah, I would send Alvin Kamara and whichever one you like least, either MT or Pittman. Keep AJ Brown. Normally, I would say trade AJ Brown because he has the highest value right now. He's at his peak. He's probably going to miss some games this year. It's going to happen eventually. But with this good a receiving core, you can trust that even if you lose AJ Brown for a couple of weeks and he comes back for your fantasy playoffs or comes back for later in the season, you could just throw him right back in the lineup.
Yeah, Alvin Kamara and Pittman. And Jeff Wilson for a Chubb or Jonathan Taylor. Like, give that other team a note where they can't say no.
I would do it. Joker Waddle, I love that profile pick. Let's take a moment of silence for Joey Bosa's groin injury. Howdy, Joker. Keenan Allen for Mike Evans. Which side of the trade would you want to be on there?
I want Keenan. I have Keenan. He likes my team. Johnny, I appreciate it. You do like my team. No, my wide receivers, Mike, in your league is Justin Jefferson, Keenan Allen, and Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, that's great. That's great right there.
No, you got to blow my mind. I got to say, though, Johnny talks. He does offer fair trades. He's just, unfortunately, he's talking to a guy where I'm not desperate right now. If I lose, if I lose next week, Johnny, hit me up again. But I'm not desperate. I was playing without Keenan. I could get Keenan back with Justin Jefferson. We'll see what happens. Sorry, we'll get back to this. Sorry.
We're back on it. It's all good. It's all good. I had to catch up in the chat anyways. But here we go. We got Lamar Jackson versus Joe Burrow, Miami on Thursday night, Buffalo on Sunday morning. Lamar Jackson, we were saying at the beginning of the show, this guy is going nuts. Y'all want to see a stat line? Don't believe us?
Dude, yes, we do.
Cry if you're playing against Lamar Jackson.
He has nothing less than 3 touchdowns passing, and he has
two rushing.
He has like 230 yards rushing as a quarterback. Get off me.
And he's only fumbled once with all that action.
7-10. He has 12 touchdowns. He has 12 touchdowns this year.
I mean, yeah, last week, 40, 11 carries, 29 passes. They let Lamar have 40 chances to score you fantasy points last week.
Guy's ridiculous, man. The guy is ridiculous.
It's all about health. You got to keep people off his ankles. I wish he'd slide more. Every time he runs, I get scared. We got Christian McCaffrey and Javonte Williams. DeAndre Swift might not play this week. It's listed as questionable. And Nick Chubb. These are some good running backs.
They are good running backs, and we got to see what Rose has in the backup because Swift is out.
Well, Rose will have Jamal Williams in the game.
Oh, does she have Jamal Williams? Oh, that's easy.
He scored 24.
She has Pierce, too. Jen, hit up Rose. Try to see what Damian Pierce cost.
I think Rose could use some depth, too. Because like these guys, Rashad White,
Mikey, we talk.
D-Rob, Dubs, Julio. Like, yeah, it's good depth, but no, Rose's team is good. I'm lying here.
No, Rose's team is very good. She's 3-0.
The only thing that really could have derailed her is if something happened to Nick Chubb. That's really it. Because Jamal Williams is the replacement for Swift all year, and he's doing fine.
Yes.
And Pierce is coming on. Rose, your team's great. It's probably why you're undefeated.
Yes, it is.
So you're gonna go Williams / Swift and Chubb, or Williams and McCaffrey. What a tough choice to make.
I'm gonna lean towards McCaffrey and Williams. McCaffrey's due for his 25-point game. Yeah,
me too. Especially if Swift is out. I don't think that Jamal is gonna score or have a bad game, but I'm not going to gamble and bet that he's going 25 points every week like last week. Like even like a 12-point game, Rose can be happy about that out of Jamal here in a week where Swift might not play. Down to the receivers here. We got a good matchup with the receivers too. Mike Thomas, Terry McLaurin versus Mike Williams and Allen Robinson. Mike Williams has been very touchdown dependent this year, but again, the Chargers keep saying we're trying to go back to last year's offense. Mike Williams was a 1,200-yard receiver in last year's offense. You guys are probably wondering, like, how did the Chargers get all these stats in last year's offense? Because it was freaking great, and it's disappeared. I don't know where it went. And Allen Robinson, obviously in LA, trying to figure out his place in that offense. Which side are you leaning here? I'm probably going with Rose on this one, honestly.
I am going with Rose on this one because Allen Robinson is heading his way to drop material. Like, that's how bad he's playing. Oh, they got A.J. Dillon back there.
Yeah, on the bench.
A.J. Dillon.
She might want to.
Chad! Trade for A.J. Dillon. Holy Jesus.
What do you think about this kid's game last week? The thing that I saw is that I noticed he had 8 targets with Allen Lazard playing. Maybe Rose should think about putting Dobbs in.
Not for who?
MT? Maybe? I don't know.
I wouldn't do it yet. Oh, she got T. Higgins, too.
Higgins is here, so Higgins can come up here.
Oh, my God.
And Pierce could go into the lineup, too, as an option. Lots of depth here. Good job,
bro. A lot of depth.
She used Mike's cheat sheet, and I'm glad Mike's cheat sheet is steering her the right direction. Otherwise, she'd be pissed.
Zach Ertz again. Higgins versus Fournette's close.
Yeah, I'm going with Zach Ertz on this side, and then Higgins versus Fournette, I think, is really close. Higgins got clocked for the 3rd time this season. It's getting kind of annoying at this point.
It is.
But he had 14 points before he was blocked.
Yeah, they're cheap shotting Higgins, which is sad.
Is Higgins in concussion protocol?
I don't think so because he went back into the game.
Okay. They said that his injury that has him listed as questionable is a toe, which is good news because he got
he got rocked.
Yeah, he got.
I have him in 2 leagues, so I was scared. I'm like, oh no way!
He got hit like that in week 1 too, didn't he?
Yeah.
I
was like, that's cheap. That's garbage.
It reminds me of Brendan Cooks gets killed all the time like that too. Which side you going here? I know you like to lean the running back usually, but you said you got T on how many teams?
I do have T on 2 teams. Oh my God. But Tampa relies on Fournette. I always go running back. I always lean towards the running back.
I'm watching the Tampa game right now, and Brady just got sacked.
Yeah, he did probably. He's throwing to the hot dog guy.
4th down. Oh, and now he's breaking tablets. Now, I think that they're coming back healthy this week in Tampa. A lot of those receivers are going to be back in the lineup. That's going to help out with Fournette underneath in the ground game. Casey's defense is kind of soft. I think the Bucs are going to win the game. I think they're going to have a great game, like the best game of the year, and beat the Chiefs. I'm going to go with Fournette also.
I'm going Fournette.
It's
close, though.
This is a really good matchup between these 2 teams. Back and forth, we won again. It's very close at running back. It's very close at receiver. I got to rock with Rose. I'm undefeated. I've been rocking with Rose all year.
And Team Pizza Planet, that's a.k.a. FloJo's wife. She's 0-3. Trade CMC. Get some depth. Get a tight end.
If FloJo or FloJo's wife is tuned in, if Rose asks me for advice, at least, I may tell her to try and get CMC. I'm just
seriously, especially with Swift hurt and she has depth.
Trade some of this depth. Go get yourself another stud that is going to start every week.
Yes.
With Lamar Jackson, you gotta figure out a way. I don't know if she's caught some bad breaks or what, but you can't be 0-3 with Lamar Jackson right now. Look at this projection also. Literally down the middle, 0.05 difference. Are you going with Rose or are you going with Pizza Planet?
I'm going Rose is going 4-0.
She's really riding that. She's like, I'm gonna be so sad when I lose a game. And I'm like, I wouldn't be sad because you're gonna be 3-1 or 4-1 or 6-1 or whatever the hell it's gonna be.
With a good team. With
the team that you believe in. I think there's only 2 undefeated teams left in this. Let's go back to week 4. It's Rossi and Rose, right? Yeah, Rossi and Rose. They're separated by about 20 points.
Well, touchdowns and tight ends are undefeated.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Okay, yeah, we got 3 teams undefeated here still. On to Kiki versus the Queen. We got 1-2, 0-3. Something's got to give. Tua versus Kyler. That's a fun one.
I want Fantasy Football Queen. Yeah. I want Fantasy Football Queen to win a game. She's getting screwed. Like, it's not, her record doesn't show what her team is. She's got screwed 2 weeks in a row.
Damn.
So, all right, we got Kyler versus Tua. I think she has a better quarterback, though.
Oh, let's see.
I think Queens
She has Brady.
Brady. So she sat smart. She sat Brady while he had nobody. She might want to put him back in versus a slugfest versus Kansas City.
I'd put him back in too. And Brady elevates for those kind of games. Like he's gonna be fired up, motivated,
especially after a loss.
Yeah, especially after a loss to Aaron Rodgers. He's like, I ain't losing to Mahomes the next week. Hell no.
No.
He might though. But here we go. Yeah, I would probably, with the rushing upside, I would probably lean Kyler over Brady, but very, very slightly. I think, like I said, I think the Bucs are going to put it together for the first time this year. The defense has been playing lights out. The offense has been the problem.
I agree.
But super narrow. This is super close with Brady's in the lineup.
I agree.
Running backs, we got Derrick Henry and Devin Singletary against Joe Mix, who you said I think might not play,
hurt.
And James Conner. So let's see.
We got to replace those guys.
Come in. Zamir White.
She needs running backs.
Flex a CD. She needs running backs.
Jen.
Just keep calling Jen. Like, Jen, are you on the trade line or?
Oh my God!
Out here.
Knock on the door. Knock on the door, Jen.
Which way you leaning here?
Yeah, you got to go with the healthy running backs.
Exactly.
Henry and Singletary.
Singletary scored last week, right? He did. Good week. Best week of the season so far.
He's doing good.
And that could be a shootout. It could turn into a shootout in Baltimore. Whether the Bills are playing from behind trying to catch up or the Ravens are chasing the Bills, you're going to see a lot of throwing out of Josh Allen to maybe Devin Singletary, hopefully. Joe Mix and Connor, man, that's a tough RB core to rock with the rest of the year. You got to make a trade, I think. We got Curtis Samuel and Deontay taking on DJ Moore and Brendan Cooks.
That's actually more even than you think.
Before he was a Commander, Scotty burned me like 2 seasons in a row. So, like, I'm out on him. I told Tony I won't draft him. Tony's like, you better draft him in some leagues. I'm not going to draft him. Now look at this man.
Look at this guy. He's averaging 10 targets a game. Nothing less than 7 catches.
And I just know if anything, God forbid, knock on wood, if anything happens to J.D. McKissick, he's going to go into the backfield. I just know it's going to happen. And he's going to get carries too. This is a tough one because DJ Moore is having a stinker of a start to a year. Baker Mayfield and him are not connecting like everyone thought they were.
No.
I think I'd probably lean Samuel and Deontay. How's Deontay done this year? Yeah, Deontay's pretty consistent. Just all the targets that he gets.
I'm leaning towards Fantasy Queen.
We got Mark Andrews over TJ Hawkinson for sure, right?
Yeah.
A. Jones, CD Lamb showing that he's actually better with Dak Prescott out.
Yes. CD Lamb's kicking ass.
But A. Jones has been insane also, right? Oh, no, he had a bad week. Didn't even realize that.
Dylan is starting to
he's
take a lot of work.
If A. Jones doesn't get a bunch of catches, it seems like it's starting to hurt him a little bit. And I just watched Dylan drop a pass, but he's getting involved in the passing game too, which is not good news for A. Jones owners.
Yes. And Fantasy Queen, if you're listening, I would look into picking up Samaje Perine if you're leaving Mixon in your lineup. You don't want to leave Mixon and 2 in your lineup with a Thursday night game with Miami versus Cincinnati.
You got to do it soon. You got to do it quickly. I'm going CD Lamb. Rarely do I go to the receiver with a running back too.
Yeah, I'm going CD Lamb as well.
And the kickers and the defenses here might play a role in this, might not. We don't know.
Right.
These games that come down to 1 point, half point, it's like a sack or an interception. That could have changed it last week. Which side you leaning here? This is another one where it's pretty close. 2 teams both need the win pretty bad.
I need Fantasy Queen to make the moves. If she's not making the moves, Kiki wins this game and goes 2-2.
I'm going team Kiki as well. On to the final matchup of the weekend. We got Team Snoopy 1-2 taking on the undefeated Team TDs and tight ends. The quarterback matchup, Aaron Rodgers going against the Patriots. Mac Jones, man, got hurt. And Pat Mahomes going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is a tough defense. You think Rodgers is going to outscore Patty this week?
No. No, Patty Mahomes with the win.
I'm going to go Patrick as well. Down to the running backs. Dalvin Cook, questionable. Looking like Alexander Madison's going to play in that game. Who would it be? Cam Akers, Ken Walker. That's probably it right there. Cam Akers. It's gonna be Cam Akers.
And Cam Akers or Janae. Pick up Madison if he's available. I don't know if he's available.
We saw him in someone's lineup.
Yeah, shit. All right, sorry, Janae.
Yeah. You're kind of
Cook's out of your lineup. You gotta take Cook out, put Akers in.
And then I'm probably gonna go Eckler and CEH versus Akers and Carter.
Yes.
Yeah. Chargers offense, Scotty. I'm telling you this week, if you got them, get excited. I know you're not sitting any of them, so get excited.
No. They're in. And
then we got Tyreek Hill and AJ Brown, just a phenomenal wide receiver group versus Devonta Smith and Brandon Ayuk, who I believe is a good start to his year too. Well, it's solid, not amazing. Devonta obviously just had a 30-point game. It seems like these guys are just trading off week to week. Which one's going to go off?
I'm going Tyreek Hill and AJ Brown here.
You know what Tyreek Hill said?
Bet the over of whatever yards he has in Vegas. He said he wants Eli Apple. He's going to go for 200 yards tomorrow.
If I'm the Bengals, I'm putting a Uzier on him. I'm keeping as far away with Tyreek as I possibly can.
Yeah.
I'm going left side on the receivers.
Left side.
Freiermuth versus Everett. This is really tight. You have any preference in this matchup?
Great matchup. You know what, though? I'm going Freiermuth because I'm saying Keenan Allen's just going to catch a ton of balls. I'm hoping he catches a ton of balls.
I like it. Everett's good, though, y'all. If y'all can get your hands on him in a waiver wire pickup because people are a little bit scared of that 4-point game last week, he's good. Just keep an eye. I don't think people are dropping him yet. Just keep an eye. Yeah. It's gonna turn around. And then the flex, Tony Pollard versus Jalen Waddle. Who won this last week? Because Pollard got a bunch of stuff. He only had 10 points. Waddle still won it. Waddle has been one of the steals of fantasy football this year. And the crazy thing is early on in the year, I was saying, like, Jalen Waddle, you get Tyreek Hill there, it's going to distract defenses, and he's going to start going off. And I kind of backed off because I was like, but then again, I don't necessarily believe in Tua. So I'm kind of going against myself, saying that Jalen Waddle's going to have a great year. Jalen Waddle's having a great year.
Yeah, he is.
I'm going Jalen Waddle.
Great player.
He's a great player. He is. He really is. And then the kickers and the defenses, again, y'all.
Flip a coin.
Steelers got the Jets. Chargers got the Texans. Got to like those matchups there for those two sides. Two of the best kickers in fantasy football so far this year.
She has Waddle and Hill, so I mean, I might want to look. If she loses this week, might want to dish one of them. I don't want two wide receivers on the same team.
They're eating off each other's plate. They're not going to have 100 yards each every single week.
Right.
I don't think they did last week.
Right.
Which way you leaning?
You know what? I'm going. Oh my God.
Team Schmoopy.
Oh man. Me too. Something telling me, something telling me Team Schmoopy is going to win this one. I'm
First loss of the year for the TDs and tight ends. We're betting against you. We'll see if that motivates or what happens here. Obviously, there still can be trades that can be had this week. There's still waiver wire ads that you can add. There's a bunch that can change for these lineups, guys, but that is our predictions right out the gate. We got some more chats to respond to. I don't want to jinx anything, but I feel like my receivers might be the strongest in the league. He's got Diggs, Evans, MT, Lazard, D-Hop, and Dotson. Cannot wait for D-Hop to get back as well, my friend.
I mean, Johnny talks. If you have the best wide receivers in the league, why are you asking for mine? Jefferson, Keenan, and McLaurin. Get out of here, bro.
Get out of here with that. Trade pending. He's giving Najee, Pittman, and Bateman for Jonathan Taylor.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes. Great move. Good move.
Big win, Omar.
We're giving them a deal, which is fine, but you just that was worth it. Yeah, good.
They're probably struggling as well. That's the thing, Omar, because JT's not been putting up a ton of points. But if he starts putting up a ton of points, now you just put him in with that roster full of studs.
Yes, and don't feel guilty because you're losing Pittman and Bateman, but you have St. Brown, AJ Brown, Michael Thomas. Your team's loaded, and you just added Jonathan Taylor, dude.
On this roster, those two guys are depth pieces. In the Queens Ransom League, all these guys are in starting lineups.
Yeah, dude, that's you just got top 5 running back, bro.
Congrats. Morley offered Dalvin Cook, Allen Robinson for ETN, C. Pat, and Mike Evans. This man's out of his damn mind. Dalvin Cook and Allen Robinson are ice cold and injured.
Except that even though I already trading Evans at that magnitude yet. What about Mike Evans for Terry McLaurin straight up?
Yeah, you just throwing that in there. Who has Terry McLaurin?
I do.
I know.
Oh, yeah. Buying low.
Buying low on Jonathan Taylor, I think is what he's talking about for Omar. Great deal there, Omar. I think that does it. We had an extra long episode this week, but thank you guys for being in the chat. Joker Wild, Johnny Talk Sports, Omar. Appreciate you guys. Ed, Raj Veer for the rest of the season. Austin Eckler, buddy. Thank you guys. Jen, everyone out there, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. We'll see you guys next week on the Queen's Ransom weekly show. Scotty, any last plugs to throw out there?
Jen, make a trade.
Trade season is among us, ladies and gentlemen.
Make a trade.
We'll see you guys.